Let's now walk through the Modal Dialog IGT. I'll start by clicking the icon to begin the test. Then click Start. The tool asks whether the modal I want to test has a button that launches it. In this case it does, so I leave the first option selected and click on Next. Now, I'm prompted to select the launcher, the button that opens the modal. I'll choose More Options, which triggers the dialog I want to test. Then I click on Next. DevTools attempts to launch the modal automatically, but this time it wasn't able to detect it. That's okay. I'll manually open the modal on the page and then select it myself. Once I select it, I hit Next, and DevTools begins running its automated modal checks. These checks include whether the modal uses a proper role, whether focus is trapped inside the dialog, and whether screen readers are blocked from accessing content behind the modal using ARIA hidden. Once those checks are complete, DevTools asks, can this modal be dismissed or closed? I know from manual testing that the escape key works here, though the close button wasn't reachable by keyboard, which we have flagged separately under the keyboard IGT. So I'll leave yes, and then click on Next. DevTools attempts to dismiss the modal with the escape key. Since that works, I continue. Now it checks if focus returned to a logical element, usually the trigger button or something else that makes sense in the flow of interaction. In this case, the focus didn't return to a meaningful location, but rather the whole page is outlined in pink, which means the current focus state is unclear. So I select No, this is not a logical element, and hit Next. Now I'm presented with the list of issues it found during the test. For example, one issue confirms that when the modal is activated, keyboard focus doesn't land inside of it, but rather it stays behind on the main page. That matches what we found during manual testing as well. I can now inspect each issue, highlight it on the page, or click to learn more. Once I've reviewed everything, I hit Finish, and that completes the Modal Dialog IGT. If there are other modals on the page, I recommend repeating this process for each one. Thanks for watching.